Hello everyone. So this is this is a video for master practice number 1. So we are going to have a master quiz coming in the next week, and well, actually, it should be assigned this week, and um, you should have 2 weeks. I'm going to give you 2 weeks to finish. The master quiz, and you will also have multiple attempts. The only difference though is unlike homework, the master quiz will be graded in the end of the whole process after you submit it, and it has a time limit. It's going to be 1 hour time limit. It's pretty long, should be enough for everyone. Another thing is if you did not pass, we consider 85% as passing. If you didn't pass, I strongly recommend trying again. You will have 5 tries total. It's a quiz, right? So it's a little different from homework. You cannot use a calculator. So please be honest with you. You're actually learning how to do that. Okay, so that's that. And so this is integers with negative numbers. So we will have see a lot of plus and minus here. A little review before we start. This is what we already went over in class. How do we work with negative numbers? The first is addition, subtraction. See what I highlight. So if you have positive numbers and negative numbers, when you add them, the sign depends on which number has a greater absolute volume, right? So if you have one positive, one negative, then whichever one has a larger absolute volume will be the sign of the results. And you subtract them, right? You find the difference, and the sign of the greater absolute volume will be the results of the sign of the results. And if you're subtracting a negative number, 2 negatives in a row change to addition. So you change that to plus. We're going to review one by one here. Okay, so each of the problems we do here, I'm going to talk about which of the rule we're using. So when you are doing your homework, you understand, oh, I'm using this because of this. It is going to be the same when you go to the next sections, such as working with decimals, working with fractions. The rules are the same. So this is why we spend so long on activity 1, because that is the basics of what we're going to do with all other systems, all other activities such as decimals and fractions. Okay, so we'll get started. All right. We'll do addition, subtraction first, and then we'll do multiplication and division. So multiplication division is actually easier, right? We're going to do both of them here. Okay, so number 1. Let me pause a little. All right, so sorry I was paused a little because there was something I forgot to add from the notes. It was from the notes section in the notes. It's a notes section in the boxes I have in the notes. Which we're going to see as well, adding to negative numbers. Which is different. Remember, we talked about in class. It's different from subtracting a negative number. Okay, so number 1, negative 12 plus 54. So we have a negative number adding a positive number. So 1 negative, 1 positive. Which of the conditions are we using here? Well, over here, right? Is not subtracting a negative number. It's also not adding 2 negatives. So this is one positive and one negative. So our results will be determined by whichever number has a larger absolute value. So 12 and 54, of course, 54 is larger, right? So 54 is larger means where our final answer will be a plus. So let's just put a plus here right now. And then also we learned that we're going to find the difference, right? We're going to find the difference of the two numbers. Since if you have two different signs, you're going to subtract them. So 54 minus 12, the difference of 54 and 12 is 42. So our answer is 42. Okay, so it's a part of 42 because 54 has a larger absolute volume. Let me add a little, find the difference, and set depends on which number has a greater absolute volume. All right, so number 2, we're going to look at 32 minus 99. So 32 is a positive number. So minus 99 means 99 is a negative number. So it's still the same condition over here. But this time, because we're working with 99 as a larger absolute volume, so 99 is larger than 32, obviously. So our final answer in this case is going to be a negative number. And that means when we find the difference of 99 and 32, the answer is 67. Our final answer is negative 67. So the numbers we have in this practice are all pretty small. You can do it if you're having question on how to find the difference of 99 and 32, you should watch the previous video on how to do how to set up with the addition subtractions. The video 1 is a review video 1 is arithmetics, right? So in here, I'm not showing the steps of doing those addition subtractions, but I want to focus to the sums. So why is this one, the first question, has a positive answer, and why this one has a negative answer? That's why I want you to understand in this video. Okay, so number 3, it's 121 minus negative 23. So what about this one? So let's see, this one is minus or subtracting a negative number. So 2 negatives in a row, right? That's what you're looking for. Do we have 2 negative numbers in a row? Yes. So that means we're going to use this box, right? Subtracting a negative number or 2 negative numbers in a row changes to addition. So that means I'm going to rewrite this. Usually you can cross it out, but because I'm showing you, I'm going to actually rewrite it to this. So this 2 minus in a row, this minus and this minus, they will change to a plus. And then it's just simply addition. The answer is 144. You do not need to worry about the sign here because now you have just regular addition with no signs, right? All right, so that is number 3. And then number 4, you can pretty much guess that would be the only leftover condition. That's the one I added to here. So we're adding 2 negative numbers. So be very, very careful. Adding 2 negative number is different from subtracting a negative. So even though both you have 2 negative signs here, these 2 negative signs are not in a row, right? They don't go next to each other. But instead, this negative sign is in front of 15 and this negative sign is in front of 52. So what do we do here? We add the 2 numbers and the final result is negative. So without doing any math, we can just put a negative sign in the front. our final answer will be negative. But what do we do with the 15 and 52? We are going to add them. So 15 plus 52 is 67. So the final answer is negative 67. Okay. Number 5. This time is even more interesting. We have 3 negative signs. So what do we do here? First, you always do this first. So what I highlight here, you always focus on, if you have many negative signs, you should always focusing on, can you change any of the negatives to positives since they're in a row, they're next to each other. So yes, it is. -7 minus -6, you have a subtracting negative number. So the first thing you should do whenever you have this kind of problem is changing two negatives in a row to a positive number. So -7 plus 6, that's equal to -1. Why is equal to -1? Because now -7 plus 6 is one positive number and one negative number. And 7 has a larger absolute value, so the final answer would be negative. We talked about that in class, right? Think of money. You lose $7, you get $6. Do you get a net gain or net loss? You're still losing something, right? How much? You're losing $1. So that's why the answer is net 1. And then number 6, -35 minus 29. And you might be wondering, which of this condition does this apply to? So first, this is not subtracting a negative number because it's just 1 minus over here. The 2 minus are not next to each other. It's not positive and negative because they are both negative. So what are we going to use is this condition, similar to number 4. So adding two negative numbers. So one thing you want to be very clear is this plus sign. Just like when we said 32 over here. We just said 32. We don't do plus 32, right? So, so that's why we can take away the plus here. When we have -35 minus 29, you can think of as -35 plus -29. We just usually do not write that plus and just having a minus right away. Sorry. So you can think of it as this. So it's equivalent as these two versions. So number 4 is the same as -15 minus 52. We do not need to put the plus here, noting that we are adding two negatives. This is the same as adding two negative numbers. So that means our final answer is going to be negative, and we add the two numbers, 35 and 29, they add to 64. So the final answer is negative 64. Okay, so that is number 6. And I think we conclude all the variations of positive and negatives. If you're having trouble with the homework, come back to this. You should be able to review all different ones. Now we're going to do some multiplication and division. Okay, so let's review multiplication and division now. It's a lot simpler. So for multiplication and division, a positive number and a negative number, if you multiply or divide, answer will be negative. So it doesn't matter whether it's multiplication or division. It's a lot simpler compared to addition and subtraction. Whenever you're multiplying or dividing by a negative number, you will get a negative number. And if both of the numbers are negative, then the answer will be positive. So only two conditions. Positive, negative makes a negative. Negative, negative makes a positive. Of course, if you have only positives, you don't need to worry about the signs. So we don't put that here. So that's all you have to remember for multiplication division. So negative 32 times, negative 12 times 32. So 12 times 32 is 384. That multiplication is easy or not so bad. The final answer though, because it's one negative and one positive, the final answer has to be negative. So it's negative 384. Okay, so number 8, we have negative 21 parentheses negative 12. So what does the parentheses mean? Remember, when we talk about reveal in the in the lecture, we said multiplication. There are many different ways of representing multiplication. You can use a dot, you can use a parenthesis. They're both representing multiplication. So it's parentheses next to each other. It is multiplication. So no operation in between means multiplication. So what we need to worry about is what's the final answer? What's the sign of the final answer? We have two negatives, right? So two negative numbers multiplied, and the final answer will be positive. So it's going to be a positive number, and 21 times 12 is 252. So the final answer is positive 252. Okay, number 9, 19 times negative 7. So what about this one? One positive, one negative. This time we use a dot representing the multiplication, right? So one positive, one negative. That means, again, our final answer is going to be negative. And 19 times 7 is 130. 19 times 7 is 133. So as the answer. So you see, multiplication is a lot easier. And similar with division, 312 divided by negative 3. You might be wondering, oh, why do we need parentheses around 312? The answer is you do not need the parentheses, but sometimes we just put it there. Putting parentheses is almost never redundant. Especially if you take more math classes, you will find that putting parentheses in different places is more like a secure than making sure you're doing things in the right order or being clear. So sometimes you will see me overusing parentheses. Only pay attention to the parentheses, which include the negative for now, but later we're going to learn auto operation. We're going to know why we want to have those parentheses in all different places. Okay, so this has no different from just 312 itself. So whether it's 312 or parentheses 312, the same thing. All right, and then it's one positive and one negative. So the final answer is negative, but be careful this time we're doing division. So 312 divided by 3 is 104. Okay, so that's number 10. Number 11, we have absolute volumes. So that's something that to reveal a little absolute volume with. So what do we do with absolute volumes? Recall that if you have absolute volume of a negative number, it becomes a positive. And if you have absolute volume of a positive number, it is still positive. So absolute volume only makes negative numbers to positive, but it keeps any positive number positive. So we have 21 minus 12, and that's equal to 9. That's very simple. Okay, one last one. Negative 908 divided by negative 2. So we have a fraction like, right? So it's the over is the same as dividing. So it's also an alternative way of writing division. So two negatives makes a positive. So our final answer has to be a positive number. And all we have to do is dividing. So 908 divided by 2, that's 454. So our answer though is positive, even though we're dividing by two negatives. Dividing two negatives makes a positive. Okay, so that is the end of this mastery practice. So please make sure you do the homework and also working on the mastery quiz. You will have, again, you will have 2 weeks on the mastery quiz, but do not wait for the last day since you want to do it. You want to have some time or days to do a second or the third try or even more if you did not do so well in the first ones. So doing it early will leave you more time and flexibility to improve your scores and of course improving your skills as well, right? So I should say the other way, improving your skills and also improving your score. Both works. Okay, so that's that for Master Practice 1. If you have any questions, come to my office hours, lab hours. We can talk about that. Send me a message through Canvas. Okay, so that's that. I'll see you guys